Hi guys. Um, Today I want to talk to you about change management and change management in regards to, guess what? Marriage equality. Yep, it's marriage equality again for me. Okay, so basically what I want to talk to you about is a book that I have read many, many times, and I know that people have read as well regarding change management. And it's such a simple, easy book. It's so easy to read. Anyone can read it, and they can probably read it within an hour. Okay, that's how easy it is. Okay, and it's based on a story. This is the book. Okay, now if you're not familiar with the book, let me just tell you a little bit about it because I think that's really important to start off so you understand where I'm coming from on this. Okay, the book is about a maze, and in the maze are four little characters. Two mice and two human-like characters. Now, the mice are called Sniff and Scurry. Cute. And the human-like characters are called Hem, H-E-M, and Haw, H-A-W. Just in case there are some alternative minds out there. Okay. Now, every morning these characters get up, they do their ablutions, and they go into the maze of life. The maze of life, I was hands in again, and go towards Station C, because at Station C there's cheese. Okay, now every morning they do this, and now they go to Station C, they have their cheese, and they come home and they feel that they've had a good feed, and they're great. It's fantastic. But one day they get up and they do their ablutions and they go to the maze of life and they go to Station C and they find out there's no cheese. None. So they go hungry. The cheese has always been there, so maybe it'll be there tomorrow, but it wasn't there today. So they go back home hungry. The next day they go again, and again, no cheese. So this is an abridged version of this story, so you read it yourself. But anyway, so that Sniff and Scurry, they go, this ain't good, and I'm hungry. So they go back home, and they put their sneakers on, and they rush out into the maze, sniffing and scurrying towards some new cheese. They'll find some more cheese somewhere else, okay? And off they go. Hem and Haw, they come back home hungry and they go back again the next day and there's still no cheese. Now, Hem is one of those people that we all probably have known where the rules have always been this way, hasn't changed this way, this is how it's going to be, and it's never going to change for the rest of our natural lives until the earth comes to an end. Okay? We all know them. Okay? Being there, we've seen them, heard that one. Okay? So Hem's like that. So when he goes to that Station C to find the cheese, he's going to keep on going there, and he will keep on going there because that's where the cheese has always been, and that's where it will be. It will finally be there again, all right? Because that's the way it is. He may starve to death, but that's the way it is. Haw, on the other hand, is one of those people who goes along with him because it's a safe thing to do, but still not quite sure about it because, it's obvious there's no cheese. And when he looks around, he finds out there's no Sniff and Scurry either. Where have they got to? So, what he does is he has this sort of internal conflict because he doesn't know what to do. He's too scared to move out into the maze of life by himself. Sniff and Scurry have already gone, and there's Hem there telling him, don't worry, the cheese has always been here, it always will be here, and that's the way it's going to be. This is change management, and people who actually can, if you reflect on change, and you can know those characters, and it doesn't matter what field of work you're in, it's irrelevant. The fact is, when change comes along, you have those people who will sniff and scurry towards it, and there's those who will go, it's always been this way, has never changed, and never will change, and there's always those group of people who are just not sure, because they're too frightened of change, but they know change is there. Okay, so let's go into the world of marriage equality. Okay, so again, you know, let's have the little maze of life, and there's the four little characters, and there's Sniff and Scurry, and there's Hem and Haw. So every day they get up and they go through the maze of life, and they follow the maze to traditional marriage. There's the station T called traditional marriage, and there they have a traditional marriage, and there's cake, you know, the three-tiered cake, you know, with royal icing, with little characters on top, usually with a male and a female, you know, great, cake. So, have their feed, they come home, and the next day they get up, and they go through the maze of life, and they go to Station T, and there's more cake, because there's another traditional marriage, you know, and they keep on doing this, time and time again. Well, over time things change. Traditional marriage isn't always going to be that way. There's other ways of having a marriage. As we know, there is interracial marriage. There are marriages from different faiths. There's a whole wide range of way marriage has gone now. Some are by celebrants, some are by ministers of religion. Some people don't want to have a big party. Some people want to have a small party. Some people elope. So there's a whole wide range of where marriage is nowadays. It's the way it's been. The world's moved on. But for the characters in the maze, traditional marriage has always been that way. It's always been, you know, a minister of religion in a church, and it's always been with cake. 3 levels of cake, royal icing with characters on the top. So, you know, one day they get up and they go to the Station T, and it's not there. There's no marriage. There's nothing happening. And there's no cake. So, what happens? Well, they go home hungry. Well, you know, no traditional marriage, no cake, no food, home. So the next day they go again, and there's no traditional marriage again because it's not happening as often as it used to. Okay, that means there's no cake. Well, you know, Sniff and Scurry, bright little mice, they turn around and go back, okay, well, if this is, I'm not getting cake from here. There must be cake coming somewhere. So I need to look and investigate this a little bit more. Okay, so they go back to their home, and they put on their sneakers. You know, they take off the good shoes first. I mean, obviously, when you go to a wedding, you wear smart stuff. And now these mice are, you know, clearly people. They put on the old proper gear. They put the smart shoes in a backpack, and they go through the maze of life to find out marriage. You know, because where there's marriage, there's cake. So off they go into the maze of life. Hem and Haw, on the other hand, they go back home, hungry, go back the following day, no traditional marriage. Gosh, they must, you know, it's really bad because, you know, really do like cake and there's no cake there. So, you know, the problem with this now is that Hem, as we've heard before, believes traditional marriage has always been this way. Just like the cheese has always been in Station C, traditional marriage has always been at Station T. And at traditional marriage, there's always cake. And it always has been there, always will be there, and it will be there again. And, you know, probably will be. It probably is right to some degree, because eventually, you know, someone will have a traditional marriage. It's not that often nowadays, but it will happen. So he may get some cake occasionally, but most of the time he'll go hungry. Haw, on the other hand, realises, I don't want to go without cake that often. Okay, I want a little bit more than that. But Haw is, you know, in that situation where Hem has a lot of control. He's very controlling. And, you know, cake has always been there, traditional marriage has always been there. And it's frightening for Haw to actually leave and go into the maze of life and follow Sniff and Scurry to find out that there's actually more than traditional marriage. There is actually marriage. Just plain, ordinary, everyday marriage. And there are so many people getting married in so many different ways, and there's so much cake, and he's not getting any. Okay, so that's really, it's, you know, he's in a difficult situation. What do we learn from this? What do we do with this? Well, we need to know that Sniff and Scurry are fine. They're not going to search out things, find out things. They're progressive. They actually want to move through life, and they want to find out things. And yes, you know, they're not going to always want to change for change's sake, but they're going to know that, you know, if this isn't working, then something else might work, and they'll go towards it. Hem, leave him alone. There's no point, you know. It's always been that way, always will be that way. We've always known those sort of people around us. There's always one or two, sometimes more, around us. They're not going to change. Let them go. Just let them go. Don't waste your energy. It's not worth it. But with the whores, we need to help. Now, you've got people who are whores, you know, that would like to move towards marriage and get some cake. Then we need to help them. We need to reach our hand out and say, you know, okay, we'll lead you to something. Let's show you what it's like. Okay, let's bring you to these places and safely, and see how you go, and you'll be all right. Don't berate them. Don't insult them. Don't belittle them. They're not stupid people. They're frightened people. They've been given information that's not correct. They've got stuff, propaganda, and it's not just happened in this situation, marriage equality. It's happened in so many situations throughout world history, and I'm not even going to name them at this moment in time because it's not worth it. You all are intelligent enough to know how many times this has happened throughout life. Okay? We need to help these people who are whores. Okay? H-A-W. All right? Let's help them go through that maze of life and bring them to what is a celebration of two loving people, two consenting adults who want to tell their community or want to share with their community their commitment for each other. Let us help them find that and see that the world does not come to an end. All right? The sun will rise in the morning and it will go down in the evening, and guess what? We all have cake. All right? Thanks for listening. I'll just show you the book again, because it is actually very good if you want to look at change management from another point of view. Okay? And yeah, I'm putting this on YouTube. I'm going to leave the comment section open. Now, if you want to put nasty things on here, like I've seen people do with other YouTube clips, feel free to do so, because everyone's going to see what you put. Okay? So you're just exposing yourself. Probably more to showing yourself how many hems there are as opposed to how many sniffs and scurries and how many whores. All right? So if you want to do that, feel free. Knock yourself out. All right, thanks very much for listening, and catch you next time. Bye.